Hello there everyone, Raxby here, and welcome back to some more Professor Layton and Pandora's box. Last time around, we did some things with tea, but I didn't properly explain it. Now, as you can see here, it says help on the tea set, and we actually want to click that. Now, what I tried to do was just serve things up, but whatever, but now you can see, on the top screen, or the side screen for you guys, it will say help over Layton's portrait. So if we click help here in the bottom left, we can give him some tea that he wants, because he isn't really feeling too well, and well, tea will make him feel better. So he actually tells you which ingredients you need to give him to him, but we already made one, the citrus classic. So let's serve it up for him. And he takes it and gulps it down, and that's splendid. So that's great. We have restored his spirits, and that's one of the tea puzzles. And we find a hint coin at the bottom of the teacup. I wouldn't quite want to find coins in my teacups, but it is what it is. Now, if we go back out and then try to go back in, it might say help at some point again, because if you serve tea number 2 to Luke, it will also do something, but apparently it's not showing up, so whatever. If you serve that to him when it says help for him, you can get another hint coin, but as I'm not showing off all the hint coins, it isn't too important. Now, another thing is that we got a new hamster toy in the last episode, so I kind of want to show off how the hamster works. There's a whole explanation here, but I'm just gonna explain it myself. So let's just skip through that. Okay, so on the bottom screen here, you have this grid with, in the top left, the hamster. Now, you see your goal is the amount of steps that you want your hamster to take. If it takes that many steps, it reaches the goal, and that's the level complete, and it has done a workout. Of course, you know, the longer he walks, the more healthier he gets, so that's the idea. Now, at this top bar here, you have a bunch of different items, toys that you can use to create a workout. Now, for this first step, it isn't too difficult. We can just place an apple like right about here. It gives you an explanation. You walk straight towards an apple within 3 spaces. So you want 2 spaces in between it, else it will be too far away from him. Now you also have this house. If it's within 3 spaces of the hamster, he will walk towards it. But of course, you know, if it is too far, then he might not. So I think somewhere like that, that's 3 spaces from the apple. So he should go to that there. And then finally, there's a charming little flower. He should also go for that. So we can like put that like somewhere there. And once you have your setup done, you can try to do exercise, and that should make him start his exercise. So let's see if we can get him to walk right, because his fitness level is 5 right now, and he's really tired and fat. But he'll take his steps, and okay, he found the apple, he ate the apple, and then he'll start looking around and spot the house next. So good, he walks over there, destroys it, and then oh, he sees the flower too, and there we go. We've actually walked 9 spaces, which completes the first workout, but then there's no toys left, so that's all it does. But yeah, his level goes from 5 to 4, so he's not blobby anymore, he's just flabby. So whenever our next goal is 14, we can't do that yet, but when we get to that point where we can do it, I'll probably show it off too. But that's a whole lot of other stuff, and not so much any actual puzzles. So let's actually get going with that. Let's click this tree here, and it's a really interesting looking tree, yeah. Must be quite old. But Layton has a puzzle for us, related to a tree. So let's see what puzzle 34 is. 3s on an old road. The country road you see here is decorated with a single straight row of trees, each a set distance from its neighbor. Of the 5 trees labeled A to E, which 2 trees have the greatest distance between them? Study the image carefully and draw a line between the letters of the 2 trees you've chosen. Now, this is a trick question. Your intuition might be like, okay, so they want us to calculate the difference between 2 trees, so I'm just going to see which ones are furthest away from each other, you know, between A and B, or between B and C, or between C and D, or between D and E. But the thing is, they never specify that the 2 trees have to be right next to each other. Of these 5 trees, the ones that are furthest away from each other are, of course, A and E. After all 3 other trees are in between them. So it's a bit of a trick question, but a nice one at that.
Here goes. Piece of cake.
So yeah, no matter how you look at it, those have the biggest distance. So yeah, that was quite... It's a bit of a tricky one if you don't get it. And we also get a new hamster toy, a 3 stump, but that isn't enough to get to the next level yet. At least I don't think it is. With that said, let's head back here now. We don't really have anything to do there. And let's go left another time, because on this side there's a nice little windmill here. I quite like that. Windmills are a really Dutch thing. And I don't know, I think they look cool, those old windmills. But let's talk with this guy here. Kostia, or Kostya. Gracious, the weather couldn't be finer for celebrating. Yeah, it is really nice weather here, I agree. No, we're not around here. We're waiting for the train, you're right. Oh, what? It happened before? Huh. You would say that it's in a lot better shape if it's so expensive, but I guess not. Oh well, at least I'll have experience fixing the train. So, thanks for the information. But, oh right, yeah, we are, of course, we're looking for information about the Elysian Box. Couldn't hurt to ask some people, right? Also known as Pandora's Box. Oh, no, he's never heard of it, although he does seem a bit surprised. It seems a bit fishy how he responds. And now he doesn't want to talk to us anymore. Well, you seem really fishy to me. But we'll solve your puzzle if that gets you in better shape, or in a better mood. Maybe that will also help you give us some more information. So let's tackle puzzle 37, World's Best Golfer. A pro golfer has the amazing ability to consistently putt distances of 3, 5, 7, and 11 meters. Strangely enough, though, those are the only distances he can putt. Currently, our golfer stands on the green with his ball 20 meters from the hole. What's the fewest number of strokes he can use to get the ball into the hole? Assume that if the ball is hit farther than the distance remaining to the hole, it will roll over to the other side without going into the cup. So, we have a bit of a math question here. Of course, you know, you can say if he puts 3 twice and then 7 twice, that would be exactly 20. So 4 should be the absolute maximum. We can very easily deduce that, or just 4 times putting 5. However, let's see if we can figure out a way that he can do it in even less strokes. Well, there is one way. Of course, you know, if we look at this straight line here, that is 20 meters. But it never said that he has to aim straight at the hole. If he were to, say, slightly go outward and then slightly go back inward, then he would make a little bit of extra space. And if we can assume that that extra space is 2 meters extra, 2 putts of 11 meters, measuring at a total of 22 meters, would also do the trick. So that's what I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna say that he can do it in just 2 strokes.
This should do the trick. And there we have it.
And that's right. And I don't think you should let cows on the green. That's probably not good. Although it could be an interesting obstacle. Maybe they should do that in like the next Mario Golf game. Just put a bunch of the cows from Moo Moo Farm or whatever on the course. That could be an interesting obstacle. So yeah, we got it. So you need one. Okay, yeah, I guess we do need a good head to have our big top hat on top of us. But I don't think he really says anything else. Yeah, he tells us to not bring it up because it gets us ugly looks. Apparently there's something interesting about that box that sets people off. So let's head back now, and you know, maybe we should just head further into the village. Oh, a bunch more stalls. It really is a nice festival, isn't it? So yeah, let's take in some more sights. So we're gonna go sightseeing in front of the village hall. So there's two people here. Let's talk with you first. Oh, hey, Albert. You're the #1 fan, huh? No, we haven't talked with you yet. Oh, he'll answer our questions. Well, that's good. We do need to solve a puzzle, but that should be fine. Puzzle 53, Boys Club. Below is a wheel of male and female portraits. Select a portrait and, counting that portrait as 1, move 6 portraits either clockwise or anti-clockwise and cross out the last of these 6 portraits. Repeat this pattern, starting from the next available portrait and always moving in the same direction. Remember to skip the ones you crossed out. If you start at the right portrait, you can remove all the women in the wheel, leaving only the 6th portrait of men behind. Which portrait is this? Circle your answer. Remember, you can move clockwise or anti-clockwise. Now this really is one that you can pretty easily solve with trial and error. But I'll just give you guys the answer now. If we pick this portrait to start at, okay? So, oh, didn't mean to do that. So we're gonna start here. And then we need to go, and we're gonna go counterclockwise. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be the 6th, so we'd cross her out. Next, we would keep going anti-clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and Flora would get crossed out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, she would get crossed out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 get crossed out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets crossed out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 gets crossed out. So by starting at this one here and going counterclockwise, you can get the answer. So let's circle our guy.
And now to test my theory. A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
So that's right, there we have it. So yeah, it gave him some chills. Okay, so if we have any questions, we can go to him. But let's ask him about the Elysian Box. Or Pandora's Box. He always uses that name as well. I find that kind of interesting. But that isn't his area of expertise. So yeah, the older people in this village don't really like the supernatural. That was clear with Kostya not really appreciating us bringing that up. So maybe there is some connection to the village's founding. That's interesting. But oh well, that's okay. Let's see what you have to say. Jacques. Parting with one so dear to your heart is even more painful than the tightest wig. Why do you have a tight wig on? And what are you talking about? Who are you talking about? That's interesting. Oh, well. Okay, bye then? Maybe you got dumped, Luke. That could be it, but right, let's be a gentleman and not really delve into his private affairs. If he wants to bring it up, he can, but we shouldn't force ourselves on him. But if we check out this fountain over here, or this monument, I suppose, it's quite interesting. It appears that it's commemorating something. Let's see what's written on it. That would give us puzzle number 30, the wrong date. Dropstone was founded 50 years ago, and the founder commissioned a stone sculpture to commemorate that day. Unfortunately, the dozy sculptor managed to engrave the wrong date onto it. The whole village had to live with the erroneous sculpture until some bright spark realized that converting it in a certain way would enable the correct date to be displayed. Think about what the sculpture could have been converted into in order to display the correct date. On which date was Dropstone founded? Answer in 4 digits. Day, month. Now this is a UK exclusive puzzle, as in the US version of the game has a different kind of puzzle. If you guys want me to solve all the US puzzles, I might do that as some bonus content later on, but maybe let me know in the comments if you want to see that too. I'm not making any promises though. Now, of course, you know, apparently 12/8 is not the right date that it was founded in. It must have been founded a different date. Now, how could you possibly change 12/8 into something else? I mean, sure they could. They couldn't really add anything because it's engraved in stone, you know. It's engraved like outside of it, like it pops out. So they can't like make something else pop out. So you would need a different way to do that. Now, actually, there is a bit of a tricky way. If you see this dot here, if we draw a line like straight from that, and using that, if we were to say fill this part with water, yeah, so this part would be filled with water, then what we would see here is these top sides, you know, the circle from the 8, this little curve of the 2, and this little part of the 1, but in the water it would be mirrored. So instead of it saying so this, the 1 mirrored would still look pretty much the same, but the 2 mirrored would actually turn into a 3. And because the 8 was just a circle mirrored, it would still show the same. Which means that the actual date was the 13th, not the 12th. So let's see if we can input that answer. We want to put the 13th, and then we can just put an 8. I don't think we have to input the 0. So let's submit.
This should do the trick. Ha! Wonderful.
And there we go. With a nice water fountain, the reflection shows it away. So that is quite neat, and I think it works better as a fountain anyway. So yeah, it was founded 50 years ago. That's quite a long time, but for a village it is very young. I mean, yeah, that's definitely true, you know. Just like in Europe, you know, a lot of places, you know, have thousands of years of history, and then America is just a few hundred years old, which is really young. Which it's quite interesting from a history perspective, you know, that a few hundred years seems so young if you compare it to places that have been around for thousands of years. But yeah, why did they come here? That is interesting. Good question, Layton. Let's just move on. Let's see if we can go into the town hall. Ah, yeah, the village hall. Oh, it's closed. Well, that's a shame. I guess everyone... That's right. We don't want people to work in the town hall when there's festivities going on. But Layton has a puzzle for us. So let's solve puzzle 47, the mayoral election. 3 people at odds with one another are running for mayor in the upcoming town election. They're all locals of the town, which has a voter population of 40. In order to win, a candidate must get more votes than any other candidate. If each of the 40 voters casts a single vote and every vote is recognized, what is the fewest number of votes a candidate needs to secure victory? Now, that means that there are a total of 40 votes. But we can assume that all of them will vote for themselves. Okay? So, that means that there are 37 remaining votes. All of them already have one vote. Now, out of the 37 remaining votes, if one of them would get more than half of that, so half of 37 would be 18.5. So if they would get 19 votes of that, then the other two combined would be able to get, only 18 votes. So he would definitely beat them no matter what. So if he gets 19 votes from the other citizens plus his own 20th vote, we actually should have the answer. So I think he needs 20 votes, which is half of all the votes, to secure his win.
Just leave it to me.
Which really wasn't that tough of a puzzle. And here you can see it explained a bit better in case my explanation didn't quite reach you. So yeah, that was good, but we should get back to investigating the village, and we will next episode. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, then do consider subscribing for more Professor Layton, and I will see you guys next episode.